Don't
You ain't
step
gotta
towards
worry.
me again.
Shut your ass
Okay.
up. I'm not scared. You see how many of y'all, comrades, walk 50 feet that way. Walk 50 feet that way.
And if you're about to see a short, raw moment, loud, messy, and full of feeling, if it was prank, or if you think you already know how this ends, don't. Because what you're about to watch refuses the easy answer. It's not a courtroom. It's not a press release. It's a neighborhood, a badge, and somebody who's done being quiet. Listen closely, because the way this plays out as you is much about the people in the moment as it's about the system that made that moment possible. We're dealing with the big, ugly topics here: police brutality, community accountability, and the way people protect themselves when they feel no one else will. You'll hear anger. You'll hear conviction. You'll hear a name that carries history and weight, a promise that someone will step in when things cross the line. That promise sounds righteous. It sounds dangerous. And because the sound is so raw, it forces you to choose. Like, do you side with the anger or with the calm? Do you celebrate the boldness or criticize the method? They're not going to reel every line for you before you watch it. That's the point. So the clip is the evidence you should see and hear it unfiltered. Post context matters. Tone matters. Cadence matters. Watch how it's over and back. Watch who steps forward, which who steps back, and who finally chooses to listen. So ask yourself, could the outcome have been different if tone had changed? If one person held back or if another had leaned in? So here's what to pay attention to while the clip plays. It triggers the words, the gestures, the history behind those words, the turning point, the exact second the energy flips, and the intervention you steps in and what they do, slow the feed or feed it. Don't judge the whole thing on one sentence or one shot. Judge what you see as a sequence, an exchange, a decision tree unfolding in real time. And one more thing, watch for the subtle signals. The clip will show you more than a single argument. It will show you a pattern of frustration that's been simmering for years. But if you want to understand why people talk, shout, or prepare to defend themselves, this is where that reasoning hides, in the little decisions, the tone shifts, the micro moments when someone opts for respect or chooses escalation. So do this for me. Watch without the commentary first, but I can form an honest impression. So then come back, hit the comments, tell me if you think the activist aggression was justified or if it crossed the line. If you care about nuanced breakdowns like this, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because we'll be tearing this apart after the clip. Timeline, motive, legal implications, and the lesson most people miss. Black Panthers confronting police brutality. This is not your usual protest video, because tension is thick. You are about to witness raw frustration and a history of systemic abuse collide in one intense confrontation. Before forming opinion, watch the full clip. Do not skim. Context is everything. So the question we need to ask is simple. When an activist chooses aggression, who really pays the price? So the system that caused the harm, or the people trying to do the right thing inside it? This video will break the moment down, and we will examine where escalation happened, what could have been handled differently, and why Black officers often get caught in the crossfire of community outrage. If you like deep dives into police accountability, activism, and real-life street confrontations, subscribe right now.
If you don't hurt people,
Don't
you ain't
step
gotta
towards
worry.
me again.
Shut.
You better
If
not
you
step
ain't-
towards me again.
Shut.
You're right.
I'm right here.
Okay, take another step.
Physical distance,
I know.
arms
You're
length.
right.
I know,
Listen,
I
you
know,
got
I know
the
I'm
right
right. I know
You
I'm
got
right.
the right one.
I know I'm right. You shouldn't have a bad emotion. This is what's going on. If the people in the community are mad about what y'all doing, you should be listening to what they say and trying to fix it. Not getting in their face talking about, I wish you would, because I will. I'm not scared. You see how many of y'all, comrades, walk 50 feet that way. Walk 50 feet that way. Excuse me, can y'all back up just a little bit? I want to display something. I'm by myself. I'm not scared of all of y'all. Right? I'm telling you, if Black people are brutalized in Philadelphia, we gonna get involved. We don't want to get involved. We want to serve the community together. We want to stop the drugs and stuff together. But you can't be on both sides of the line. So you can't be punching people or stepping on their head or laughing at them while they're having a seizure and then want somebody to be nice to you. You see what I'm saying? If I did that, my comrades did that, I'd come right up. My comrade wouldn't be walking around next to me in a uniform, and I wouldn't care if I got fired or sued or any of that. I stand for it. You're supposed to stand for that. You see what I'm saying? So if you, right, but that it wasn't peaceful.
I got you, but didn't I remove him?
I hear you, but what I'm saying to you is I'm telling you why. I'm telling you where this anger come from. You see what I'm saying? If police don't brutalize people in this neighborhood, we don't got to get with the police. But if we get video sent to us of that, we going to come yelling and screaming and ready to fight.
And guess what? You got a right to voice your opinion.
It's not funny. That's why you're a pig. See, police officers, hold on, police officers that serve the community, they cool, but when police officers laugh at people having seizures because they slammed them on the ground, that's a pig, right? When police punching you is not part of their policy. That's a pig, right? The police officer says I would dignify everyone I encounter during the commission of my shift. If they're not dignifying everybody they come encounter with, that's a pig. It says I would treat everybody with courtesy and respect. If they hop out talking like this, bald-headed bully, that's a pig. You understand what I'm saying? That man is black in the black community being a pig, right? I want y'all to know the difference. I also want you to know that you do not have to be scared of them. See what I'm saying? You don't gotta be scared of them. You understand? I will get into it with them and die before I let them do anything to you, sister. You don't gotta be scared of them. And more black men in this community need to get their right. I got my record expunged. I got a gun license right here. More black people need to get their record expunged, and they need to get legally armed so that they're not the only ones with the guns. So that the punching and the slamming and the putting the foot on the head, all that shit stops. Because all three of those things happen in that camera, and they're not going to happen while I'm here.
I got you. What's your name, sir?
My name is Paul Birdsong. I'm the chairman of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. What's yours?
Sorry, but listen, we're here to be peaceful. We're just here to make sure nothing goes wrong.
That's what I'm here for.
We don't need no hostility.
There is hostility.
Listen.
If you don't want hostility, hold your comrades accountable. Every officer that's in that take should be arrested.
I remove them, right?
What about the officers that slammed that man in there and laughed as he had a seizure?
Well, we can take care of that. We can take care of that.
Oh, we gonna take care of it. We already filed a lawsuit on every bad member in the video.
You can't make threats. Okay?
I didn't make a threat. I responded to one. He said it. I said, we're the Panther Party's here. We're not gonna let you beat up on anybody here. That's not a threat. That's us defending ourselves. We're the Black Panther Party for self-defense. He got out the car and said, if I interfere with him doing his duty, it's gonna be a problem. I said, your duty's not to punch nobody, right, or kick nobody, or laugh when anybody's having a seizure. So if you illegally put your hands on somebody, I'm gonna intervene. I don't care if it's a problem. I'm not just voicing my opinion. I'm telling you that the black people will not be the victims of the police in this community no more while we're here.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. And I'm gonna recruit brothers around here. So when I leave, they're gonna continue not being the victims.
Okay.
Right, all right. You hold your comrades accountable. I make sure mine do the right thing too. Black power.
Black power.
So the activist approaches the officer is clearly frustrated. His voice is firm, assertive, demanding attention. So he gestures, he steps forward. You can feel the tension in every word. So if the supervising officer steps in, calm, steady, trying to de-escalate, he listens. So he redirects, he does not raise his voice. This is where the activist misses an opportunity. Demure and calm while present for accountability could have been powerful. Instead, aggression escalates the situation. Energy shifts from dialogue to defensiveness. The activist's anger is real. The frustration is valid. So years of misconduct, abuse, and systemic neglect have led to this moment. But notice where it lands. So the focus is on black officers, not those historically responsible for the worst abuses. It's misplaced anger, distrust, fear. This is the first layer of the confrontation. Watch the supervising officer again. He does not provoke. He does not argue. He simply listens and redirects. This is de-escalation. A calm response in the middle of tension. Anger can demand attention and highlight injustice, but without strategy, it is destructive. Targeting the wrong people does nothing to change the system. Instead, it creates unnecessary conflict. Too often, black officers are unfairly targeted by their own communities while systemic problems caused by others go under address. So this clip demonstrates that tension perfectly. Historically, the Black Panther Party carried the weight of community defense. Strategy and direction were critical. Modern activists channel that energy, but too often emotion dominates strategy. The result is escalation, misdirected frustration, and conflict where it is not needed. If real change is the goal, three things must happen. Anger must be strategically directed. Conversation must be two-way. Emotion must be managed. Without these, escalation hurts the wrong people and slows progress. Look at the activist. He steps forward, shouting, demanding accountability. Look at the supervising officer, calm, listening, professional. The contrast is clear. The community anger is valid. If fear is real, police misconduct continues, but aggression without direction has consequences. It can damage credibility, alienate allies, and place the right people in the line of fire. So the lesson is simple. Anger is a tool, not a weapon. It must be guided, it must be focused. Otherwise, it accomplishes nothing except further tension and conflict. This moment shows the delicate balance. Activists want justice. Officers want to do their jobs. Both are constrained by a flawed system. Misplaced anger makes collaboration nearly impossible. The questions for you are straightforward. Are black officers being unfairly targeted by community anger, or is this the cost of demanding accountability from a flawed system? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Be honest, be respectful, debate the situation. The best replies will be featured in the next video. If this video made you think, click it, share it. Subscribe for more analysis on policing, activism, and real-life street confrontations. So remember, real change happens when both sides are heard and when emotion is guided and not weaponized.
We gonna come yelling and screaming and ready to fight.
And guess what? You got a right to voice your opinion.
It's not funny. That's why you're a pig. See, police officers, police officers that serve the community, they cool, but when police officers laugh at people having seizures because they slammed them on the ground, that's a pig, right? When police punching you is not part of their policy. That's a pig, right? The police officer says I would dignify everyone I encounter during the commission of my shift. If they're not dignifying everybody they come encounter with, that's a pig. It says I would treat everybody with courtesy and respect. If they hop out talking like this, bald-headed bully, that's a pig. You understand what I'm saying? That man is black in the black community being a pig, right? I want y'all to know the difference. I also want you to know that you do not have to be scared of them. See what I'm saying? You don't gotta be scared of them. You understand? I will get into it with them and die before I let them do anything to you, sister. You don't gotta be scared of them. And more black men in this community need to get their I got my record expunged. I got a gun license right here. More black people need to get their record expunged, and they need to get legally armed so that they're not the only ones with the guns. So that the punching and the slamming and the putting the foot on the head, all that shit stops. Because all three of those things happen in that camera, and they're not going to happen while I'm here.
I got you. What's your name, sir?
My name is Paul Birdsong. I'm the chairman of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. What's yours?
Sorry, listen, we're here to be peaceful. We're just here to make sure nothing goes wrong.
That's what I'm here for.
We don't need no hostility.
There is hostility.
Listen.
If you don't want hostility, hold your comrades accountable.
Okay.
Every officer that's in that tape should be arrested.
I remove them, right?
What about the officers that slammed that man in there and laughed as he had a seizure?
Well, we can take care of that. We can take care of that.
Oh, we gonna take care of it. We already filed a lawsuit on every badge number in the video.
You can't make threats.
I didn't make a threat. I responded to one. He said it. I said, we're the Panther Party's here. We're not gonna let you beat up on anybody here. That's not a threat. That's us defending ourselves. We're the Black Panther Party for self-defense. He got out the car and said if I interfere with him doing his duty, it's gonna be a problem. I said your duty's not to punch nobody, right, or kick nobody, or laugh when anybody's having a seizure. So if you illegally put your hands on somebody, I'm gonna intervene. I don't care if it's a problem. I'm not just voicing my opinion. I'm telling you that the black people will not be the victims of the police in this community no more while we're here. That's all I'm saying. And I'm gonna recruit others around here. So when I leave, they're gonna continue not being the victims. Right, all right. You hold your comrades accountable. I make